Hi everyone, it's Laura here, and in today's video I'm going to share with you how to create a winter card with an easy watercolor background and cut files by scrapbook.com. If you follow my channel, you'll know by now that scrapbook.com started releasing cut files recently, and today I'm going to use some of the files from the December bundle. This bundle includes 5 different designs, and today I'm going to be using 2 of them. As a first step, I imported them in my Canvas workspace because I need to convert the SVG files into FCM files in order for my scan and cut machine to be able to read them and process them. So this is what I'm doing now, and I have a video with a step-by-step process of how to do this with a more detailed explanation if you're interested, and I will link to that in the description box down below. Once the files were imported, I copied them over a USB stick. I plugged the stick into my scan and cut machine, imported the design, and then cut it out of some white cardstock. The cut files will cut out the word December and a bubble to go around it. You can see the result here. I decided to add a little bit of shading to the outline, and for that I am using my Distress ink in shaded lilac and my scrapbook.com blending brushes. Because I'm using brushes, I'm going to get a very nice and soft blend, and because I'm going from the edges inwards, there will be a little bit of shading. So as you can see, the edges are slightly darker than the center, which adds a touch of dimension and interest to the sentiment. I'm going to adhere the 2 cutouts together, and to do that I'm using some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. And I'm also going to use the pieces that were cut out of the centers of the letters D and R to complete them. Next, I die cut some watercolor cardstock with the Fawn large stitch rectangle Stackables dies first, and then with the Heffy Doodle Slopey Jaws dies, and I obtained this hue that I'm now shading with shaded lilac Distress ink and my blending brushes by scrapbook.com. I then created a panel for my sky again from some watercolor cardstock that I die cut with that same rectangle die from the large stitched rectangle Stackables dies by Fawn. The rectangle measures 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, so this is basically the size of my card, and has a stitched detail all around, which adds a nice detail, which I always like to add in my cards. The colors of Distress inks that I used are Mermaid Lagoon, Blueprint Sketch, Chipped Sapphire, and Black Soot. I'm first going to blend them with my scrapbook.com blending brushes over the panel, trying to get an ombre effect. As you can see, I'm not too worried about getting a super homogeneous blend, and also the coverage is not perfect yet. I'm going to go in with the second layer of Distress ink, so you will see me keep blending my inks on the panel, but the reason why I'm not worrying too much is that I'll be using this as a base or as a trick if you want to obtain a watercolor type look on my background. So once I'm done blending my Distress inks there, I'm going to take a flat brush, I'm going to dip it in some clean water, and then I'm going to use it to basically reactivate those inks so that I can blend them together and get this nice watercolor effect. This might be a nice trick in case you like the look of watercolors but you don't feel you managed to achieve a nice control over them, so I thought I would share this little trick with you and I hope it's useful. Next, I stamped some of the images in the Fawn Winter in the Park stamp set on some more watercolor cardstock, and for that I'm using my Mini Misty and scrapbook.com premium dye ink in the color black. This Winter in the Park stamp set by Fawn is really nice because you can use it to create some really nice and romantic scenes on your cards, and it doesn't involve any coloring at all. Here I'm doing a little bit of shading with my Distress inks, but you don't have to if you don't want to, and your card will still look really gorgeous. I used shaded lilac for the snow and tumbled glass for the street lamp. And I was trying to be quite careful not to go over the stamped lines because I used a dye ink and I wasn't sure it was going to be waterproof, but it all worked out perfectly in the end. At this point, my background was completely dry and I could go ahead and create a snowfall effect using the Fawn Snowy Backdrop stamp set. I used premium embossing ink by scrapbook.com and then I coated the image with white embossing powder by Ranger. I melted the embossing powder with my heat gun and then to complete my sky, I put my background again in my Mini Misty. I shifted my stamp and I repeated the same steps as before, so again I stamped it with premium embossing ink by scrapbook.com, coated it with white embossing powder by Ranger and heat set everything with my heat gun. I then went ahead and started assembling my scene. I adhered the snowy hue to the bottom of my sky panel using some double-sided tape by Crafter's Companion. And then I basically built the scene by adhering the bench to the right side of the hue. I adhered this snowfall on top of the bench and then I glued down also the street lamp. I meant to create a glow around the street light, but I actually forgot as I was blending my inks, so that didn't happen, but it would definitely be a nice touch for your card in case you decide to recreate this design or to use this stamp set. I completed my sentiment by heat embossing the word greetings. This is also part of the Winter in the Park stamp set by Fawn. I used again white embossing powder and then I brushed shaded lilac over my little sentiment banner. I glued the sentiment to the card front and that finished off my card. And that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know with a comment and a thumbs up. I love your feedback and this also helps my channel a lot. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel for more card making and paper crafting inspiration. And as always, thank you all so much for stopping by and have a great day.